Yes, the concepts of understanding the mindsets at the different dimension levels. You are aware that your planet is in the three-dimensional reality, and therefore you started off with your third-dimensional mindsets. You had the veil, so you forgot your bigger beings, your bigger mindsets, and who you truly are while you come down for this human experience. And so therefore you acclimatize your energy down, down, down to the third dimension as you have this human experience. As you grow in your spirituality and in your mindsets, and you expand and you understand the greater concepts and see the bigger truths, then you start moving from the 3D into the fourth. As you leave the 3D, you will be trusting that you have got more protection. You are not so vulnerable. You are not so victimized. And you understand that your conscious mind, your mindset, has a big part to play in the realities that you see. For example, the people in the third dimension, they will feel afraid of others, and they will feel like they're vulnerable because bad things happen to them. They have a belief system that they're not good enough, or that people are getting them. They're out to get them. They are afraid of their own shadows, shall we say. And so they really are very fearful. And this is something that is not helping them at this stage. They will believe what they've been told by professionals. They will trust the media. They will not have any true connection to their inner wisdom. They are really disconnected from their higher selves as they navigate through in the lower vibrations of 3D. They have the more mindset emotions of jealousy, anger, revenge, fear, comparisons, judgmentalness, all of the lower emotions, shall we say, that don't quite help the mindset see the bigger picture in life. And so when they start easing up, when they start noticing there is no one out to get them, they can, see and trust that there is something more. They're curious to find out what's more. They're starting to hear rumors about certain things that have been happening. And so they want to seek out information and truth. Their intuition is starting to gain a little bit more, and they're open up, and they're starting to feel like they resonate with certain frequencies of people that seem to have bigger, healthier, positive attitudes in life, and seem to have bigger information that leads the third dimensional mindset up and out and away into the fourth dimension mindset. So that will look more like people wanting to find the truth and not blaming others as such, and they're trying to get to the facts and the purposes behind things. They still don't quite understand why, for example, there is tragedies. They still may blame, for example, God or some other being for a child having cancer without understanding the purpose of the child having the cancer, which will be a life contract that the child has wanted to experience, potentially with the parents, to explore and learn those hardships that will happen with a child being sick, for example. And so while some people think it is unfair and unjust and a cruel, cruel world that everyone's victim to, when you see it from a bigger perspective, when you see it from the fifth dimensional perspective about the child with cancer, you can see and trust that this is a being who has wanted that experience. They have asked for that is their purpose. And however that plays out, regardless of whether the child recovers and continues on to grow, or this is an exit point for them. This is exactly what that soul wanted to have for that human experience. And so we understand that when you are such emotional beings, who want to have compassion for each other, you get stuck when you have that fourth dimensional mindset, and obviously the third dimensional mindsets, because you can't see the bigger picture and purpose of things. So you're feeling the heartbreaks and the worry and the causes, and you want to protest and you want to shake people awake and say, this is injustice, this is unfair, this is, you know, not right, this isn't how it should be. And the fourth dimensional mindsets want to stand up to the injustices. They want to seek and bring attention to the things that aren't right. And as you all know, as you all should know, there is a lot that is happening to humanity and to this planet that is simply not right. While there are learning lessons here for the things that are not right, people need to be aware of them without being triggered into fear and emotion, blaming and wanting to see justice, and a whole lot of emotions that will bring down the vibration of a person. The fifth dimension mindset is seeing, observing, not being triggered by emotions, because you trust and understand the bigger purpose of each situation. And even if you don't understand, know the bigger purpose of each situation, knowing that there is growth there, the purpose for it is exactly what the beings experiencing those experiences are wanting. And so therefore you can observe, for example, and know about the people and the beings that have been held in captivity and harvested for other beings to feed off. There is a lot of that horrible situation going on that does not look good to any, shall we say, normal person who has common sense or morals. So we're using this example because this is the bigger example that we feel like you're all potentially struggling with. So we would like to say and remind you that all of the children and the beings who have had that experience, they have their spiritual teams, they have their guides, their life purpose, their life contracts. It's all going to what they have wanted. And while you cannot understand why on earth would anyone want to experience that, those greater beings have, potentially because they have experienced in many different lifetimes more higher dimensions. They want to experience all. And it is something that many people struggle with. Just like as we have said, people want to, beings want to experience dying in many different ways, because once you've learned and experienced one thing, you want to explore more, you want to experience more. You can't just have the same one meal and appreciate it. Just like you can't just go and watch the same movie, for example, over and over and over and over again and get anything really new out of it. So while people like to repeat their patterns because it's safe and it's routine and it's comfortable for them, growing and changing up the situations is always what the bigger souls are wanting, because that's where you get the true growth. If you are stagnant, if you're trying to keep it safe, you will not grow, and so therefore you're going to be stuck. And this is what we would like to bring the attention to about the fourth dimensional light workers who are stuck emotionally because they can't see the bigger purpose of all these tragedies. They are aware of the darkness and what is being playing out, so they're still wanting to be vulnerable to that, still fear-based for that, still victim mode for that, and can't understand and trust that the bigger picture here is that the light has won. The light has won, and the darkness has been receding. The darkness is no longer a threat to humanity at a greater overall. Things have changed, and they have always been going in this way. And anyone that has been trying to tell people that it's not the case and that we're still vulnerable is not telling you the truth because they're in fear, because they're a bit addicted to the drama of it, because they haven't dealt with their own victimized issues and they haven't come across and dealt with their own pasts. And so we're not just talking about this lifetime. We're talking about all the other lifetimes that you have ever lived, that you are potentially holding drama to, pain to, trauma to. When you haven't healed those wounds and scars and emotional baggage, you're not able to really fully release yourself and move forward into the fifth dimension when you're still wanting to and needing to heal from that. And this is a journey and a path, and some people will not want to move to the fifth dimension mindset until the shift, because it just feels too big. It just feels too hard to go through and unpack and release all that is holding them back. And there are others who feel like they have got connection to their spiritual team, who feel like they are big beings who are important, and they are. You all are. No one is bigger or better than each other. You're all on the same playing field. However, some people who feel, because they know they've got connections to other collectives, to other beings, they want to use and show only that, kind of brag about their connections, brag about who they are, brag who they have been and who they will be. And that is not the mindset of a fifth dimensional being. That is someone that has still got ego in a very negative way. You all need to see each other as versions of self and support. So when you're bragging, when you're dropping your CVs, your qualifications, your titles, how much money you have in the bank, who you are, who you know, those things, as you all know, are very limited mindsets of who you truly are. And so do you want to start being the bigger, greater beings who remembers who you are, takes on the purpose of this lifetime, getting ready for the big shift? Or are you wanting to keep it safe, routine, and comfortable? So you all have free will, and you all get to choose how you play out the next few months. The small amount of time you have left in this 3D physical world. But you could potentially want to keep it safe, stay in the 4D, and that is fine. You could push yourself, heal yourself, be honest to yourself, and move forward the last little icky bits. It is up to you. We understand you're all very tired and weary. You're exhausted emotionally and physically because of all of the things that have happened to you in the past. And this is for you to take time now to relax. Feel the stillness within. You are at not war anymore. And if you have blocks, you potentially are just merely in war with yourself. Focus on your mind. See if there is any negative talk about yourself. See if there is any negative talk about others. You should be at one with all and understand everyone's at different levels, but you should be able to be more grounded with who you are, not trying to distract yourselves with the fear, the worry, and the doubt, and the ego, and the titles. You all know this. You have been distracting yourself, some of you, by trying to teach others what you know. You are spiritually coasting because you're not actually wanting to work on yourselves. You're not wanting to know the bigger information because it seems too hard, and because you still need proof. You can't trust yourselves as much as you think you should be able to do. So there's blocks. And it's all fine. It's all a journey and stepping stones. A lot of you will not be ready for the shift when it happens, and that will be fine too. Just remember, when it does, release fear and worry and just relax into it. Resistance will be a challenging experience for you. You cannot stop what's going to come. And we know this may scare you. But remember, you will remember yourselves after the shift. You will remember your bigger beings. You will remember all your soul family and all the other lifetimes you've ever lived. You will see your life purpose on earth. You will see your life purpose of all. You will have such a bigger mindset. And you get to choose, will you go to New Earth at the 5th dimension level and experience the human existence, the human experience with your light bodies, and have a marvelous time there, learning and growing and being fundamentally foundation members of the New Earth. You're going to be making stepping stones and paving the way for how humanity is going to be shaped in the New Earth. It is a very marvelous opportunity for you all. So you will see and recall who you are, and you will see and tap into the opportunities that you have on the New Earth. Then you'll also get the choice to go home. And you will remember what home is and who you are as your being at your home. Potentially, a lot of you have already mastered the 5th dimension. You've already learned the skill sets from it in other planets, other existences, other times. So it may not be something that you really, after all that, want to go and explore and experience. You've already done that. Your experience here on Earth was almost a surprise how long it took and how far you got off track. And so, a lot of you who think and hope that you can go to New Earth, when you recall the bigger beings you are and who you truly are, and you'll see and feel your soul family waiting for you, you would choose to go back home to recuperate and to rest. If you've chosen not to go home or to New Earth, you have other options, other places you can go to recuperate from and to learn from. If this is the end for you, if this is the end of your lives, for you to finish this chapter, to go back to source, you will also do that. That has already been pre-organized in your life contracts. However, you've grown, you've learned, you've evolved with your mindsets. And so therefore, when it comes that time to see if this is your exit point, you will meet with your councils and discuss. Are you still wanting to do what you had planned to do as you so bravely and so boldly had written your life contracts for this experience? You still have free will. You're not alone. You have wise counsel who will help you. You'll never be pushed. Nothing has ever happened to you that has been against your will. It may have been perceived like that, but it's growth. And when you go to the other side and you see, for example, a bully, a rapist, someone who has affected you so profoundly you don't think you're ever going to be able to forgive them or move on and heal, And when you meet them, and when you reconnect with them, when you remember your full self and all that you'd written that you wanted to experience in your life contract, then you'll recall, I organized this, I wanted this experience, and this was a loving being playing that role of the rapist, the bully, the narcissist, whatever you're needing to experience. That is not evil. That is not a demon that has done that to you. That is another being that has said, I will help you experience this. I will be the darker player here to help you. And it is all pre-contracted. And so when you see things from this point of view, it doesn't affect you as much, because you realize that you've actually wanted these experiences for yourself. And you can release the trauma from that and understanding that you have learned those lessons and emotions. While we understand they are not the nicest ones to experience, they are still lessons and they still have importance for your growth. So we want to share with you some positive experiences that you will have. When you have your light bodies, you will feel natural love for all. You will just feel tremendous. You will look back at the times when you were in your 3D bodies and just think, boy, wow, that was so hard. That was so hard. Being so disconnected from the feeling of source, from the sheer heaviness of the low vibrational beings. And then because we felt so low, we were trying to feed ourselves with love, because that's what you mostly do. You use food as love. So you're feeding yourself the comfort foods, which mostly have been poisoned, added crap into it, to not feed your souls, to make you feel even more heavier and lower. You all know this, and you still do this, and that is okay. That is all okay. No one here listening has done anything that deserves to be punished. You're all good, great beings. You still can't remember all, and that is okay, but you will. You will. We're sending you these messages to keep reminding you that you're not alone, that you are very much loved, you're very much missed. Your soul families are waiting for you. The new earth is waiting for you with all that she has to offer. We still have so much to tell you about the great things that will be happening. But we hope that this message today is going to inspire you to do what's right for you and give you the courage, the excitement for your futures. And we say this with much love.